Yo, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've won one of these bad boys, but it's getting back into summer now, so it's time. And by the way, I just wanted to say apologize to everyone in the past who's donated to me on PayPal, and I haven't actually acknowledged right at the start of the video because I think it's something that's really important for me to do because I am really grateful to all you guys. So I want to start from this video forward. I got a donation yesterday from Danny, so thank you, Danny, so much for that, brother. I appreciate you, and I will continue to keep doing God's work. Speaking of which, I'll cover that later, but some of you guys already know what it's about. Anyway, the article I have for you today is, so I actually stumbled across a post shared online, and this was one of the articles written by the author of the one that I stumbled across, but it wasn't the one that I stumbled across. This is even better. Single is the new married. Why single women rule the world. You can already tell this is going to be good, right? According to statistics released in 2009, single women outnumbered married women for the first time in US history. And the percentage of married women is now below 50%. In other words, women are getting married less and less, which means single women rule the world. And it's about damn time. Now, for anyone that's passed grade 3 maths, maybe even grade 2, and has an IQ of maybe 7 or more, this would also let me know that less and less men than ever before are married. Because you can't have a married, look, in the LGBT space, yes, you can, but that's a very, very small minority of marriages. So in the overall picture, if less women are married, less men are married. That's just how it's always going to be. No amount of social engineering or indoctrination is going to change that. So if by this logic, single women rule the world, then single men also rule the world, and that'd be about damn time too, because feminists have had a bit of a grip on our nuts for quite some time now. But not anymore, because we've learned how to say no. And if you haven't, that's the most important word in the English language. And you should say no to anyone that doesn't have your best interests at heart. And when you say no, you should mean it, and you should follow through with it. And I say that to absolutely anybody as well. Because as human beings, we need to respect ourselves before other people will respect us. Point 1. Single women want that gender pay gap closed once and for all. Because they're not financially dependent on a man, single women are front and center when it comes to demanding that women get paid just as much as men. This isn't to say that married women aren't as concerned, but as Rebecca Traister wrote in her piece, The Single American Woman, practicalities of female life independent of marriage give rise to demands. So yes, we're making some demands. Gee, what a surprise that demands are being made by feminists. 2, single women demand gender equality. And that was how I knew they were feminists, because that was point 2. In keeping with the list of demands for which single women fight for is gender equality. Single women who are working just as hard as their male counterparts in the same position aren't willing to take a back seat in their quest for equality, because they want the men to take a back seat while they take the front seat and the driver's seat and direct it in the direction they want to go. They fight tooth and nail right up to that glass ceiling. Some of them even break it wide open. Newsflash, no glass ceiling, highest paid CEO in the world is a woman. Guess how she did that? She started her own damn company. So if you want to be the CEO of a company, don't expect to be put into that corner office where the person who founded the company currently sits, because that's their fucking seat. They earned it by starting the company and giving you a job to begin with. Otherwise, you'd be working for somewhere else. So, I don't know why you're complaining. 3, sponsored. The best relationship advice for you is here. Check out Relationship Hero. So this is basically just a shill. And before you're like, oh, Sydney, you shill sometimes. Guys, I give good advice, not shitty advice, all right? So let's not go down there. If I'm writing an article, I'm not going to have point 3 of 7 as, oh, go and buy my relationship course. Okay, so bit of context is important. Thanks in advance. Number 4, Single women fight for paid family leave. Just like men do, but they just don't get it as often. Since women no longer need marriage or a man to have a child, aka since single motherhood is amazing and great and kids are better off without their fathers, apparently, even though that's not the case, because the statistics bear out that the majority of people who are male in jail, well, the majority of people in jail are male, and the majority of those males are from single parent households, aka fatherless households. And yes, there are some families where there's no mother around, it's a single father household, and kids need their mother as well. But the point is that kids need both parents. Both. Not one, not the other, both. And right now that's not happening, unfortunately, in the family courts. But that's another topic. Here we go. Since they no longer need marriage or a man to have a child, paid family leave is extremely important to them, especially since they're the only one bringing home the dough. Oh, and their ex-husband who's paying child support and alimony and all of that other good stuff. So that's... and the government giving them subsidies and benefits. So they're bringing home a little bit of the dough, but they're not bringing home the whole entire loaf, right? It's just a little bit of the dough. The rest of the loaf was assisted, should I say. Although all women deserve paid family leave, just like all men deserve paid family leave, but don't always get it. Single women who don't have a partner to help them out need it even more. Just like single fathers who need a partner to help them out need even more. But see, a lot of these single fathers, particularly the ones that are working full-time, if their ex-partner is working part-time or not at all, and even if the ex-partner, the ex-wife has the kids maybe 1 day a week, 2 days a week, the full-time worker still has to pay child support. Isn't that ridiculous? When they have the kids for the vast majority of the time, earn the vast majority of the money, provide for the vast majority of the kids' needs, but they still have to pay child support. What kind of bullshit's that? Oh, here we go. You're going to love number 5. And this is true in some instances, absolutely. And I would say the instances in which it's true are instances in which these people are actively using logic, they're actively being practical in their lives. But there are some which are totally irrational and not being practical and not being logical and just trying to justify their current train wreck of a life. Guys and girls have both got train wrecks of lives at times. But you'll see what I mean when I'm going into this. 5, single women have their acts together. Like I said, some single women do have their act together. But if those single women are constantly chasing guys or expecting guys to pay for their stuff, then I would argue that they don't necessarily have their act together in the ways that this would suggest. After centuries that dictated to women that their worth was dependent on being the wife of some man, women are now bucking that past social norm. So the centuries that also dictated to men that their worth was dependent on how much they could provide for some woman and how much they could give to some woman. You know, that same double standard. By the way, thank you to Godspeed Calzi. He says, "Hey man, how are you? Love your work. Thank you for your $2 donation, brother." In doing so, they're conquering so much solo and have their acts together at the same time. In order to rule, one must be the complete package on their own, which single women are. Just like a lot of single men are. But yet we get shamed quite often for being the complete package on our own. It's like, oh, you're afraid of commitment. No, I'm not afraid of commitment. I'm afraid of losing everything in my bank account. 6, single women are deciding politics. And see, this is a problem because if women are single and childless, then they don't understand what it takes to continue the future of society. And I mean, like, literally the whole entire human race. Because the race depends on people having kids and raising another generation. But if you're single and childless, then that's not something that you have a vested interest in. So your politics are going to be aligned with whatever your feelings are and not the reality of your situation. Or the reality of most people's situations. Oh, here we go. Although the last presidential election was a disappointment because of the Electoral College, aka because the highly populated leftist feminist states didn't get to dictate what the whole of America had to put up with. In 2010, single women made up 23% of those who voted. That's almost a quarter of the voting population. It's both stunning and fantastic. Yeah, stunning, fantastic, brave, all of those wonderful adjectives that people like to use to make themselves feel better when they don't feel so great. Not only that, but when the percentage of who voted for who was broken down, 67% of single women and only 31% of married women voted for Obama that year. Interesting, right? Takeaway, single women are apparently more left-leaning, and honestly, those on the left have a higher percentage of revolutionaries who get stuff done. Oh yeah, revolutionaries, like, Karl Marx, the nut job. Who else? Oh, that's right. All the communist leaders throughout time that have murdered millions of people by way of their oppressive regimes. Who else? Oh, let's see. Oh, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, who is basically a puppet for their political left. Number 7. But before I do that, I'm just going to acknowledge and thank Dynamite Rabbit, my brother. Dynamite Rabbit was a huge support to me when I originally lost my job when I started my channel. So I never forgot that, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for that $25 donation. Says, glad I caught the stream, Sydney. Cheers from Grand Canyon country. Man, I've always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. I got to come and see you sometime, brother. And Camp Low with $5 says, keep up the good work. Thank you, Camp. I appreciate that. 7. You're going to love this one. Single women have a big impact on women's reproductive rights. And they'd be right, because women are the gatekeepers of reproduction. That's just the truth. That's why they get to pick and choose who they do and don't want to have babies with, right? Even if they're married to someone and they have children with someone else, like, this is literally textbook proof, right? That women get to choose who they want to reproduce with. So that point 7 says when single women have a big impact on women's reproductive rights. That's true. But it's funny because it almost sounds like they're trying to say that women who aren't single don't have any say in their own reproductive rights whatsoever, which is complete bullshit. But anyway, with the voter turnout being what it was in 2012 for Obama, it shows that single women are more concerned with protecting their reproductive rights, which makes sense in some ways. Although married women are more likely to use birth control. Also, married women do have a say over their, in fact, more of a say over their reproductive rights, because they actually exercise it by using birth control more frequently. But that's none of my business. According to a study by the Guttmacher Institute, single women might have more at stake when it comes to these rights. Well, yeah, because they're the ones who bear the children. Fair. According to National Abortion Federation, there it is, abortion. 83% of women who terminate a pregnancy are unmarried. This mindset to protect a woman's autonomy and these votes trickle down and profoundly affect women's reproductive rights. 8. Single women give a damn. Most of all, what the voter turnout of single women taught us is that single women care more than those who are married. I'm not passing judgment, of course, but the numbers don't lie. Actually, that's exactly what you're doing. You are passing judgment. And the numbers do lie when they're manipulated by feminists. Almost done, guys. 9. Single women have set needs that need to be met by the government. As Tracer wrote, the fact that single women living their lives outside of the institution around which tax, housing, and social policies were designed have a set of needs that has yet to be met by the government. Basically, the government has to make changes and cater to all these single women, therefore changing long-standing policies. Thanks, single ladies. I'm just going to reread that tiny little last sentence. Basically, the government has to make changes and cater to all these single women. So what they're saying is they want the government to make changes and cater to feminists and single women. A lot of whom, unfortunately, particularly in the younger generation, are feminists. And that's very concerning, particularly with the dogma that they've been pushing, especially if any of you have seen the recent ABC's Q&A episode. Or, Julie Bindel saying that, the whole point of feminism is to take power away from men. Because I have a video of that also. Here we go. 10, single women are owning it. Yeah, you go, girl. From their education to their career to their sexuality and everything in between. Single women are owning not just who they are, but where they're going and how they're getting there. They're completely independent, free of the entanglements that come with marriage. And in many ways, that's exactly how people rule the world, by standing on their own 2 feet and snubbing the past that had once caged them. That's funny. That's almost like a textbook summary of what men going their own way is. Yet apparently it's misogyny, somehow. I don't know how that works. The people who came up with that idea must have had an IQ under 7, but that's another discussion. So yeah, men are now owning not just who they are, but where they're going and how they're getting there. They are completely independent, free of the entanglements that come with marriage, and in many ways, that's how people rule the world, by standing on their own 2 feet and snubbing the past that had once caged them. So basically, they're saying that men now can rule the world. They don't actually realize that it goes both ways. 11, here we go. Single women have actually always ruled the world. No, married women have, because they got to control their husbands in the past. And even if not through and I'm not saying controlled through I'm controlling you because you're my bitch now because you're my husband. Although there were some people that treated their husbands like that. But, husbands and fathers and providers have always through the ages had the best interests of their families at heart. The vast majority of the time. It's rarely not the case. So typically speaking, whatever the partner wants, the partner gets. In fact, with my own dad, my mum got the house that she wanted in the place she wanted because my dad asked her what she wanted and she said that's what she wanted. So he gave it to her. And I'm totally cool with that because they're both happy. But this is basically case in point. Throughout history, where the single women are in abundance, their impact is inevitable. When there are more single women after the Civil War, when there were more single women after the Civil War finally came to an end, women got out there and worked to reform things that didn't work in their favor. So they made them to work in their favor, but not in men's favor. So it wasn't egalitarian, it was just feminist. They fought for the right for women to vote, but not for the right for men to vote. Made changes that resulted in amendments to the Constitution that favored women, and even founded colleges. Colleges which are mostly founded by men. That's not to say there aren't any colleges founded by women. And in fact, I would love to know which ones were founded by women. If any of you guys out there know that, please email me, sydneymigtow@gmail.com. Would love to hear about it. I'm always open to different perspectives. But my understanding, and I could be wrong, but the vast majority of colleges, universities, and educational institutions were built, founded, structured, and started by men. That's just it. Anyway, guys, that is the end of this video. But before I go, I just wanted to encourage all of you, every single one of you, to head over to sydneymigtow.com/books. It's a very, very basic website. There's just one link to the Testosterone Advantage plan there, which has a number of different links that you can actually buy it from. I don't make any money off any of those guys. I just wanted to put it there as a reference for you. I think it's very important for all of you to get your testosterone levels checked and increase them in an organic way by doing what you need to do and making your lifestyle around that, because that's what's going to get you ahead in life, having the physiological state and the mental state to move forward, and building your testosterone will help with both of those. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Make sure you share this video, give it a thumbs up, leave some comments below. I would love to get your thoughts on what you took out of this video, or even if you disagree with me, I'd love to have a conversation with you. But guys, if you do want to donate and this resonated with you, feel free to donate. Details in the description below, and I will catch you guys very, very soon. Also, I just have Godspeed Kelsey says you should do one-on-one chat sessions. Sometimes brothers just need a rational guy to talk to. That's a really good idea. So guys, if you do want to do one-on-one chat sessions, I'm happy to do this with you, and I'm sure you can appreciate if I do get a massive demand for those. I do need to prioritize those who are prepared to invest a little bit, because if I'm going to invest my time in you, I want you to invest something in me as well, so that it's mutual, so it's not just a one-way street, because mutual reciprocity is very important in every mutual relationship, which is healthy for both parties. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.